And if the shit hits the fan, who's going to tell them that they don't? Right?
Very true.
And then they're gonna base their currency on that much gold, right? Second of all, who's number 2 on the list? It's the Federal Republic of Germany with 3,396.3 metric tons of gold. But guess where they keep it?
Not in Germany.
Right, they keep it in the United States of America. Now, about 6 months ago, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle in Germany because opposition parties asked Angela Merkel, hey, don't you think it's about time we asked America to give us some of our gold back so we can keep it inside of our own national borders? And it turned into a little bit of a diplomatic incident. And you had the German finance minister going, oh, don't worry, we won't be doing that because we wouldn't want our very good friend America to think that we don't trust them.
Right.
Do you think America is going to turn over Germany's gold?
I don't think so. That's just a guess on my part.
You remember what happened when Gaddafi asked Great Britain for some of their gold back, right?
Yeah, that happened just before NATO attacked
Libya.
Not to say that America would attack Germany, but in the same note.
No, but I mean, hey, what's Germany going to do to get their gold back? I will tell you one thing. Germany's never going to see that gold.
No, probably not.
Yeah. Libya, like I said, per capita has way more gold than Great Britain does. But they store it in Great Britain. So really, realistically speaking, the country that is storing another country's gold is the country that owns the gold. Because what's going to happen is no one's given any gold back.
Well, maybe Canada should go and ask all these other smaller countries right in around, from 70 through to 110 and offer to store their gold for them. We can pile up a little pile there. We got a great banking system here in Canada. It's a nice stable place to keep your money.
Well, here's the thing, man. I think that since we helped bomb the hell out of Libya and they've got all this gold, why doesn't Great Britain give us some of their gold,
Sure.
Because Libya only has 50 times the gold that we have.
With about, what,
a third of the population? Yeah, a quarter of the population. They have about 8 million people to our 32, 33.
God.
So
wow.
per capita, Mike, that's 200 times more gold than we have. So,
jeez.
Yeah. So if you really want to think about it, if all of the worthless paper money in the world disappeared today and gold became the money again, the average Libyan, if they had their gold, is 200 times richer than the average Canadian. What do you think of that?
Man, could be a pretty big shift. I mean, that's nasty. The first thing that I think of right away is anything like that happens, and my guess is Canada doesn't have much of a chance to exist as a state anymore, as a nation state.
Right. We have no wealth other than the natural resources that we have, but how do we price it? Because we can't, I mean,
but we'll have sold those off by the time the collapse comes, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently we can't sell off our resource companies, and we can't sell off our resources quickly enough. We just got to get. Our economy is based on getting our raw resources with no value added out of our fucking country as quickly as possible to foreign powers. We don't build refineries. We just build pipelines so that China can refine our oil, or the States. This is a problem,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
but now,
go ahead.
How can a country with, I was just gonna go, why don't we do a fun exercise and divide the amount of Olympic medals that we have by the metric tons of gold that we have?
Oh, that's why the Olympics are so important. You go and you win gold medals, and you can add it to your gold medal.
We only got one gold medal. We suck, man. We totally
But it's
suck.
about the same as our rating with the gold reserves.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Man. And what did we win the gold in? Trampoline, I believe it was. Synchronized trampoline or some shit like that.
Is there going to be a synchronized trampoline league?
There should be, man.
I need something else to waste my time
Yeah,
on.
we gotta find something to have pride in, because we're not gonna have pride over our gold hoard. That's for sure.
No,
And we are,
absolutely not.
and if what I think is gonna happen in terms of hyperinflation, we are broke as fuck, my friend.
That's nasty. And I'm looking down this list, and I'm noticing that the countries they call the pigs countries, Portugal, Italy, Spain, Greece, those countries, they're actually not sitting too bad for their gold, their gold reserves.
Yeah.
Italy's in fourth.
Yep. So what happens? Okay, here's the thing. What happens when Italy has to default on its debt? It leaves the euro. It reissues the lira. It inflates the value of that fiat currency to nothing, right? And then it can turn around and reissue another lira pegged to gold, because guess what? Italy is third on the list if you only count countries. Right. If you
That's
take
right.
if you take the International Monetary Fund out of the equation, Italy is number 3 in the world with 2,451.8 metric tons of gold. And here's the kicker: it really exists, and it's really inside of their country. Right?
Wow.
You can't say we know that the Americans are lying about how much gold they have, and we know that Germany doesn't have the gold inside their own borders. So Italy might be number 1. It might be the richest country in the world in terms of gold hoard, and in terms of per capita, it has less population, far less population than America and Germany. Italy might be sitting pretty, and they're technically bankrupt as expressed in fiat currency. If you express their financial position in euros, they are insolvent. But
That's right.
knowing what we know now, that in a climate of hyperinflation, gold becomes the money, they're the richest country in the world. France is right behind them.
It is quite curious.
Yeah.
I mean,
And of course, the next one on the list, the People's Republic of China, we don't know how much gold they have, because they mine their gold. Right? It's a major gold producing country. They don't tell anybody how much they're taking out of the ground, and they stockpile it. And they keep it a secret. Quite funny, eh?
yeah, we're gonna. You know what? Just it's sending 1,000 questions running through my mind, and immediately I think of the connection to the end of World War II, and just looking at some of these other countries. Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece are all countries that after the end of World War II. I'm on a tangent here, but I apologize. But they're all countries that saw remnants of the right wing being supported by what eventually became NATO and the intelligence apparatus in the West. And Spain has had a war fought on its soil. Italy has, in the sense, and I'm not talking about World War II. I'm talking about military actions that have occurred outside of World War II. So it makes me wonder. I mean, obviously, the only thing holding these countries back from going back to a gold currency is that they've pegged their future to the United States. And, I'm pretty sure that on a drop of a hat, if they didn't have anything holding them back, they would go back to a gold standard. Why wouldn't they?
They're going to be. They're setting themselves up right now. They're, let's borrow all this money. Let's really develop our country using the fiat currency we borrow from international bond markets. Okay, so, and then all we do is we already have enough gold to refloat a solid currency after we pay off our debt in worthless paper money that we print for nothing. Do you see what I mean? And then they go back to it. So you take a look at this list. I'll tell you who the richest countries in the world are right now. It's the countries with gold. And Canada, for some bizarre reason, okay, and keep in mind that this is a huge issue. This is the 900,000-pound gorilla in the Canadian banking closet. Okay, it's one thing for our Prime Minister to say again and again and again that our banking system is the envy of the world. I think the world is laughing at us because we have no gold.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at it, but it's just like, it's an anxiety kind of laugh.
It's because it's shocking. It's absolutely shocking.
I just didn't know. We have a government, we have a state-sponsored media, the CBC. I understand why the corporate media doesn't report on this, right? I understand that. But what about the CBC? How come this isn't a big story? Me and you are both news junkies, and we never heard this. I just happened to Google it. I just happened to want to look it up. You know what I mean? How come there is no Canadian news outlet that's reporting on the fact that we absolutely lack gold as a backing, as a hedge against inflation?
Well, you know what we should do, Tony? We've got to dig into this, and we've got to see if we can find some people to interview and talk to about this subject, and see if we can't find something out, about this. I know that Canada used to go to it. I don't know if we had more gold at this point, but I know up until 1945, the Federal Reserve was the bank that the government actually borrowed money from. Where now we borrow our money from private banks. I don't know if that has any effect in this area or not, but that's something that I would like to look into. But I think there's got to be somebody out there we can talk to give us some more information about this.
Absolutely. This is a story. I mean, we've gone way over our allotted time for this show. We were going to do a 90-minute. We're pushing 2 hours now, but I think it's worth it. I think that the subjects that we've covered here tonight are worth going into, and there's a lot of them we're going to touch on again. I think we concentrated on militarism, the militarization of our country against the will of our people. We're talking about how we're positioned to face an economic climate of hyperinflation. Not good. It's something we're going to talk about some more. And of course, the ongoing saga of how the Conservatives manipulated and stole the last election. Possibly stole the last election.